Let's talk about how white people can take constructive action. The purpose of this video is to explore white passivity and to be a call for action in Arlington, Massachusetts.
Hi, my name is Tyler.
My name is Charlotte.
My name is Eleanor.
Hi, I'm Grace.
I'm Kelly Eversole.
Catherine Feuillet.
Hi, my name is Gabby.
My name is Kolya.
My name's Maggie.
I grew up in southwest Oklahoma and north central Texas. In the 60s, we integrated the schools while I was in school, when I was in the third grade. And I watched the town shut down the local wading pool for kids. They shut down the parks, everything, so that there would be no opportunity for anybody for white children and to be with black children. They even closed the churches so the deacons would stand at the doors of the church to keep black people out of our church. And to me, that was just outrageous and totally against everything that I had thought religion was supposed to be.
Well, I think Arlington is kind of a little bubble.
We're a small bubble.
This bubble of like what you think of like liberalness, and you think of that bubble as being non-racist.
Here there are really a rare few individuals that oppose the movements or Black Lives Matter or climate change, and so you feel like your work's already done.
The majority of people, like when it comes to things that they're not affected by directly, they usually don't have the instinct to do something about it.
Because they don't see in front of them the injustices that are happening.
The personal offense to like being called racist.
An unwillingness to look at the issues that race causes in our country.
What we've seen in the United States, particularly over the past 60 years, 50, 60 years, is that it was bad to be a racist. Therefore, that's where that white fragility really comes in, because we can't accept that we are a bad person. We can only accept that we are a good person. So if you think that if you have any racist thought that you're a bad person, you can't deal with the issue, you become defensive.
This idea of American exceptionalism and individualism and your American dream is that we have this such strong belief that anything we have, we worked for. And especially without, the education system exploring, the systematic nature of, capitalism, racism, and how we actually earn things and wealth in America, is that we have this idea that any wealth we have is earned. And so I think we connect that to any privilege we have is earned.
The insurance policy of white supremacy, like the way it keeps thriving, is because people are so defensive and they deny it exists constantly. When in reality, like we eat, sleep, and breathe racism.
You know, like when your parents say to you, like, you're so lucky, like you should be grateful, like other people have it worse. I feel like a lot of people immediately are so defensive to that. Even myself, I've been like that. But I feel like the more you recognize that that's not something that you should be defensive about, the better it gets.
It's not about being attacked or whatever. I have a fundamental belief that we belong to the same species. I'm a biologist, so for me, speaking about race makes absolutely no sense. We have a single one, Homo sapiens, and that's it. And all the rest has been built to discriminate people. I hate this idea, but I never thought deeply about it, and the whole discussion around white fragility has been really a wake up.
I think that I really thought that because of when I grew up, how I fought at that point in time, and then also the fact that I had studied a lot of philosophy in school, that I had gotten rid of all of my prejudices. And then when someone has pointed it out, I've been very defensive.
I decided in 10th grade that white guilt was the most useless emotion on the planet. White guilt ends up costing more emotional labor for Black and brown people because they have to be like, no, you're not racist, but like white supremacy is racist, when like you definitely contributed, or I have definitely contributed to white supremacist system. When you look at a racist system and feel white guilt, I feel like it makes it all about the white person. Whereas if you look at a racist system and go, okay, here's how I can dismantle it, here's how I can help dismantle it, here's how I can listen to Black and brown people to get rid of it, that doesn't center your white voice. And it doesn't take away from the action.
The whole concept of guilt doesn't get you anywhere.
The only way that it really is productive to feel that way is if you take the next step.
If you have the energy to talk, to feel white guilt, then you also should have the energy to do, like, actually take action.
Active activism is really like anything that you can like kind of tie a direct effect of that activism to.
You have to commit to, like, in the future, I'm always going to be bettering myself. I'm always going to be educating myself, listening to Black voices,
Donating or protesting.
Making your own ideas and not like simply regurgitating what social media posts say.
Supporting Black businesses.
Having these tough conversations, like having conversations, being unafraid to talk about it, being unafraid to say the wrong thing and like working through that.
Calling like representatives in your state and stuff like that, and like actively trying to make a change.
You should be doing it not just because you have your white guilt, not just because you want your friends to see you doing it or it looks good on social media, but you should be doing it because you want a better world. Posting on your story about Black Lives Matter or putting a black square in Arlington, Massachusetts doesn't sacrifice anything, and it's also not going to do anything.
If you find yourself posting a lot on Instagram, maybe like take a step back and look at yourself from someone else's perspective. Like, is what you're posting, is it something that's different?
Yeah.
Like, have you said the same thing 20 times? Is it helpful? Does it have information to help people? And like, is it true?
Having all of the information so readily accessible on Instagram and Twitter and everything else is such an amazing thing.
Social media is like definitely a double-edged sword.
It's so easy to lie.
You can spread like the worst information, but then you can like reach so many people, like touch so many people.
I think that's one of the great things about social media is that those injustices can be brought right to our front door, inside our homes. We see what's happening. There's nobody who has control over whether or not we see it. I believe that everybody deserves human rights. As to why I believe that, it's just kind of something that seems obviously true to me. Also, like, I'm a part of the queer community, and which has obviously faced its fair share of discrimination, and I feel that that helps to open my eyes to like the importance of everybody fighting together for equality.
I think I stay being active because it's a privilege to not be active. And I, as a white person, like, I could just tune out the world and be like, beach day with the girls. That's a privilege that I have, and I think it's only harmful to Black and brown people.
There have been a lot of moments in the history of the US where people were outraged, and then it went down, and then it didn't change, or it got worse. So I feel there is a momentum here that we need to seize, because maybe this is the moment where maybe something will profoundly change.
If you continue to open yourself up and like unshelter yourself, the amount of things that you see every day, I feel like that alone is what keeps me motivated.
Part of it is going to be white guilt, white privilege, and this idea that, you know, in 50 years, what am I going to tell my kids kind of thing, which I think that's part of all of our motivations in a little way. But also just that I really do believe in liberation in whatever form. And I do believe in a better world.
This is one of the most like widespread nationwide like movements I've seen in my life. Like, I don't want it to stop just because I got lazy.
I think that it's important for everyone to get engaged at their local level, because the police in this country, unlike other countries, it's a local issue. Race housing policies, zoning policies are done at the local level. So regardless of what happens at the national level, if you're not also looking at the local level, then you're not making progress.
If you hold someone down, you're holding a bit of yourself down with them. And it's not only a like spiritual, like, oh, I'm a less moral person because I'm complicit in oppression. It's like, no, literally you're making your life worse.
I feel a responsibility of not letting, people think, people of color, black people thinking we are finally gonna, we finally woke up because these problems are not new. So we are creating expectations, I think, at the moment that we are really gonna do something about it. So I feel a really strong responsibility that, we need to continue on the commitment now. We can't create these expectations and then fail them again.
Like, I get it's uncomfortable for white people, but like, oh no, you're uncomfortable. That black child just got shot by the police. Like, get over it.
As long as you're moving forwards, that's the most important part. So don't be scared off by more radical thinkers. Listen to them, read them, because they might change your mind. But don't let that be a reason you don't join something. I mean, that was a reason that white moderates might not have joined MLK on the march because they thought he was too radical, right? Think about that. Think about history and just which side you want to be on.
Think about how a black person has to navigate the world and how it's different to how you do. If you can't imagine too much of a difference, maybe spend some time looking into some resources about how black people experience America differently. If that isn't enough to make you want to act, I don't know.
We know everybody out there has good intentions, and we believe that. And so even if you're not with us now, we believe that because you will want to see good come out of this, that you will in fact join us in making things better and changing how people of color are treated.
I want to tell them to join us because there is so much to do. And I am convinced that things can be done and can change, but it will take a long time, it will take commitment and energy, and the more we will be, the better it will be. So my main message is please join us.
Please vote. Please learn. Please teach others.
It can feel like this stuff doesn't affect you, and it does in so many ways. But even beyond that, we're the strongest we are when we work together.
It's knowing that you had to make a conscious choice, just like you would if you were in school. You want to get a degree, so you make a conscious choice. This is what I'm going to do, and that is what we did.
Battle.
This is our battle at this point. So.
Abolish the police. No justice, no peace. Abolish the police. Breonna Taylor. Abolish the police. No justice, no peace. Abolish the police. No justice, no peace. Abolish the police.